Welcome to Uncaged, a show that celebrates thought leadership from today's top business leaders. The program provides a voice to amazing executives from around the globe who are shaping the world of business today and mapping the path to the commerce of tomorrow. Today, we're speaking with Sabeen Shaikh. Sabeen, how are you?
I'm really well, Ben. How are you doing today?
I'm great. I'm great. I'm excited to learn about what you're working on here in the medical technology space, the med tech space. Sabeen is a partner of the global MedTech practice. She's the co-lead of that practice for life sciences consultants. They offer a deep domain and operational expertise across a range of clinical and technology segments. So we're going to be talking a lot about really kind of the state of medical practices, the clinical space, and where those things are evolving right now. It's been a several years where we've all thought we were experts on medical issues and realized we were absolutely not. So Sabeen will hopefully show us the better way forward in the near future. But Sabeen, before we get to talking about what you're working on at Life Sciences Consultants, tell us a little bit about you and your career.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me on, Bent. I appreciate that. My background, I've been in healthcare for 20 years. I love
Wow.
healthcare. I started off thinking I was going to go to medical school, so I have a really strong biology and clinical background. Decided that I wanted to do something more at the global level and have more impact on developing markets as well as developed markets. So um, bigger impact on all types of different populations and access to technologies, which is when I transitioned my career over to medical devices. And I've been involved with a lot of different types of technologies over the career. I'm a commercial and operational leader by background, so started off in industry and then transitioned over into the innovation side, which some people say is the dark side or it's the fun side. But it's a journey. That's what I'll tell you. And that's been an entirely interesting experience coming from corporate, having global leadership roles, and then going into the startup world and working back with innovation. I work with governments as well, international governments. I work with a number of different investment funds, private equity and venture capital funds, and I work back with the multinationals, so the corporate strategics. And I started this consulting practice when I was living overseas and moved back to the US about a year and a half ago and ended up joining Life Sciences Consultants as one of the partners with their global medtech practice. And I am excited to be there.
That's great. I mean, and certainly it's a really dynamic space that you're finding yourself in right now. But tell me a little bit more of the type and range of work that you and the team are doing at Life Sciences Consultants.
Yeah, so we specialize in commercial strategy management consulting
Hmm.
specifically. And within this realm, anything that would be upstream or downstream strategies related to portfolio management for the corporates or for investment funds, as well as go to market strategies and everything in between. So, for example, a lot of the device corporates have technology like devices, hardware technologies that they have been working with, and now they're trying to implement software technologies into their portfolios and figure out how to get that into market. So, we come in and help build out commercial strategies for that and identify what the right types of technologies they should be integrating into their portfolios, as well as which ones could be optimized for better impact in the market.
Well, I mean, we're living right now in a year where I find that AI in some form or fashion is mentioned in every other business sentence. And so I imagine that's probably top of mind for a lot of your clients. But tell me a little bit about what you're seeing out there. What are the general trends that people are focused on right now?
Oh, I love AI first and foremost. I've been working with the AI ML space for several years, and it's a personal of mine. I think there's a number of different things that we're seeing. First of all, anything that's using AI in the healthcare field is likely regulated. And so the areas that I work in are the ones that work directly with the clinicians or the hospital systems and not direct to consumer. And I say that because if it's regulated, it has to go through an FDA clearance process. And a lot of the ones that are going through these FDA clearance processes are ones that are looking at personalized or predictive opportunities in nature. So using
Hmm.
AI ML technologies to identify medical condition before it's going to happen or analyze like what should be done by the clinician in surgery, for example, right? So um, these uh, these are the types of technologies that I'm coming across in the medical device industry that's being integrated with with the patient care continuum and outcomes. I think one of the other things that I'm also seeing a lot of is the AI use for workflow optimization. And
That's
that's
great.
not a, yeah, it's really fascinating. I love that space as well. It's not a regulated area, but it's a really important area that comes in. And, you know, you're looking at, okay, how can we optimize the entire workflow within a hospital system or in the OR, for example, or
Yeah.
in a clinic.
Yeah, I think a lot about that because, one of the things that comes out time and time again when I delve into conversations with folks in the med tech space is certainly on the leading bleeding edge. There's a lot to be excited about. There's a ton of research coming out, lots of new inventions, et cetera. However, when I look at the other end of the spectrum, which is really like a delivery or a delivery at scale of medical solutions, we're really struggling. Like we're really struggling, right, to find medical systems, and there's a shortage of doctors, there's a shortage of nurses. Medical insurance costs are going up, right? It's like it's an endless list of crises. And so how do we kind of how do we look at this evolution over the next couple of years? Because I'm on the one hand, I'm really optimistic, and then on the other hand, I'm like, oh, how do we fix these things?
There's so much to unpack right in that question,
Yeah,
Hank.
too
And
much.
so no, there's a lot. It's actually a area that I'm also really passionate about. That I think like right now with everything that's possible with the AI wave and the personalization of healthcare and the direction that healthcare is going, but there's currently a gap in funding specifically
Mm,
for software as a medical device. So these personalized AI ML technologies, and that gap in funding is actually going to cause a number of these innovations to die out before they can even get to market. So a lot of things that we're seeing right now that could be blingy and really exciting are struggling to raise capital
mm,
and will not make it into market. And that's the part that I think I'm probably a little pessimistic about. But I
mm.
think that in the next 2 years, if we can change that mindset and that landscape and have some of these private funds, so the venture capital funds and some of the private money, find ways to expand their theses, and with their current funds and invest into these types of technologies, I think that's what's going to really unlock the opportunity with AI in healthcare in the next few years.
Yeah, no, I hear you. It's been interesting to see those kind of swings on the investment side and the investment cycle. I think that probably points to a hurdle there, which is we are living in this world with very high interest rates, and that's, spooked a lot of investors, I suppose, in kind of doing these longer term maybe plays. I don't know. But certainly, I agree completely. There's tremendous promise there, and let's hope they all get funded and we move forward. But Sabine, you've been working in this field throughout your whole career. You obviously have tremendous passion for this space. Where does that come from? What drives you?
I come from a family of doctors, and so
Oh,
I've always been exposed to healthcare. But for me, I've always had a personal passion for equity, like health equity and education equity, not just in the areas that we're living in, but around the world. And for me, that's one of my biggest driving forces in healthcare is to make sure that there is health equity opportunity in both the developed markets and the developing markets with the types of strategies and the innovations that I can help get to market.
Really interesting because if we go back to the pandemic, I think, one of the things that I thought I was very positive about was how fast certain solutions were able to get to market. Now, I don't know if that's kind of probably had a double-edged sword now. Maybe people question that. I don't know. But it was impressive. It felt as if, wow, when we had to innovate, we innovated fast. Are you feeling that we're speeding up right now with the pace of innovation?
I think You've made a really good point that during the pandemic, we did see that pace pick up pretty quickly. And I think you could say that the regulatory barriers were less so, and things were a little bit more agile in getting to market. I don't know if I'd say that I'm seeing things continue on with that pace specifically, but what I am seeing is that there is more openness and willingness to look at slightly lower barriers to entry than there were before.
Mm. Yeah, that's good. Well, I mean, in some ways that's good. Probably, I imagine in some cases people would challenge that, but it is what it is. I think you're always going to have challenges either way. You go too fast, people don't like it. You go too slow, people don't like it. But I think the key thing is when I read about these innovations, I just really want to get them to kind of what you said. I want to see them get in the hands of the people that need them. And so that obviously is going to require kind of scaled models, scaled solutions, which clearly, life sciences consultants and your team can make happen. But I mean, here we are, 2024, Sabine. It's not going to be a dull year. This is an exciting year. Somebody told me today on a show that 50% of the global governments are having elections this year. It's some crazy number like that. And so it's clearly a year of change. We have lots of big things happening like the Olympics, et cetera. But I mean, give me a sense of what you're seeing in 2024 in the medtech space.
Yeah, I think I what I'm expecting to see is that it's probably going to be more with the corporates and the
Mm,
strategics that we're going to start seeing more types of care models coming out into the market this year with the technology integrations. So
mm,
I think that's going to be from the strategic side. I think a bit on the innovation side, we will start to see an uptake on the success of some of these startups and growth stage companies having more revenue opportunity coming to market, and a few are going to definitely like go towards the IPO pathway that was hindered the last couple of years for some.
yeah.
So I think that's those are two of the trends from the corporate side and the startup or innovation side. From the capital side of things, the venture capital side, I think we're going to start seeing them start deploying more funds as well this year.
Excellent, excellent. Well, Sabine, I mean, it's been amazing talking to you. If someone wanted to learn more about what you and the life sciences consultants team are working on, the global med tech team are working on, where's the best place to find you?
Oh, they could always hop onto our website, consultingls.com, and put in an inquiry there, or you can absolutely add me on LinkedIn, and I'm happy to reach out.
Excellent. Well, it's been amazing talking with you. We're talking to Sabeen Shaikh. She is the partner and co-lead of the global medtech practice for life sciences consultants. They offer deep domain and operational expertise across a range of clinical and technology segments. I'm leaving this conversation more optimistic, more excited about a lot of the things that are coming down the pike. These are big, hairy, audacious goals that companies face in this space. These are things that can change the trajectory of the health of everybody on the planet. And so it's really, really exciting on the projects that these folks are working on. Sabine, thank you so much for sharing with us, and we look forward to having you back.
Thank you for having me, Vant. Bye,
Cheers.
everyone. Cheers.